Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. Have we got a topic? This is good. It's kind of semi-religious, semi-philosophical. Okay, so I just want you to bear with me and let me know your thoughts. As I have said, for whatever reason, if you're watching this on YouTube, the comments are not coming through. If you want to comment, please find me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, okay? Because I'd love to know your thoughts. Like I said, this isn't just a religious topic. This is a philosophical topic, okay? So, as we know, many know, Sunday is Easter Sunday. So this is semi-regarding the Christian faith, kind of, sort of, in a way. So, Sunday is Easter, and that is the resurrection of Christ when he came back in spirit, okay? What led up to that, as everyone knows, Christ is the Son of God, but he was born into a traditional family of Mary and Joseph. He was raised by Mary and Joseph. So he was a flesh and blood person, okay? Now, don't get carried away with the religious aspects. Just hang on to this. So he knew who his actual father was, okay? That God was the Father, okay? So he had to go through, knowing what he was going to have to go through to get from point A to point B. He knew what his job was here on this earth. He knew everything that he was going to have to go through for the greater good, okay? So, on Thursday, which was like yesterday, before Good Friday, today is Good Friday, on Thursday, Monday, Thursday, look it up, Maunday. That is when they held the Last Supper, when he ate with the disciples, when he was betrayed by Judas. Yeah, he went to the garden. He was arrested. He knew this was going to happen ahead of time. He knew what was going to take place at that dinner. He knew he had to go to the garden. He had to be arrested. He knew everything that was going to happen. He knew that on Friday, he would be not only persecuted, but crucified, beaten, tortured, stabbed, hung on a cross. They put spikes through the palms of his hand. Well, not the palms of his hand. I'm sorry. It was actually through his wrists and then through his ankles, and hung him up there in the heat and hot, dry, arid. And if somebody would say, do you want something to drink? And they would send up like a wet rag, but it would have vinegar on it or something, just to torture him a little bit more. Some people would have rags dipped in like an opioid and give that to him to kind of help. But it was a horrific experience. I mean, absolutely, physically, mentally, excruciating. But he knew going in, he had to do this for the greater good. He knew that people were going to say horrible things about him. Horrible, horrible things about him. He did it anyway. Okay, just hang on. And then he died and came back in spirit on Easter Sunday. Okay, so here's the question. He knew all along everything that he had to go through for the greater good. He knew that tens of thousands of years forward, today, people were going to be doing horrific things in his name, and I'm sure he's rolling his eyes on that one. He knew some people would believe and follow his word, and others wouldn't. Some would distort his word, manipulate it to their advantage. He knew, but he did it anyway. Would you, I'm not saying if you were him, I'm not saying that at all, but if you were told you needed to do something for the greater good, and you were going to have to go through horrific physical, mental, spiritual pain and agony for the greater good, would you be able to do that? I mean, that took such courage. I mean, that took some balls. I mean, I'm not trying to be crass, but I'm serious. How many people would be willing to undergo all of that? Because he had a choice. He didn't have to do it. He did it anyway. How many people would do something like that? Would intentionally go into a situation knowing that you would be betrayed, knowing that you're going to be arrested, have the holy hell beat out of you, and killed for the greater good. And still, people would treat you like shit. Tens of thousands of years later, some would respect you and honor you, honor your memory, and others, yeah, not so much. Would you have the courage to do that? I mean, wow. I mean, that's all I can say is wow. Was it he was just honoring his father's, how can I say it? I can't say desires, instructions. That God had told him, this is what you need to do. Here's the game plan. It's up to you to do it. Was it just a matter of blind faith and, yeah, I'm going to do this. Dad said do this. This is what I'm going to do. Surely, in the garden when he was praying, he was thinking, holy shit, what have I got myself into? He was flesh and blood. He was human. He had emotions. I doubt if he was looking forward to this whole thing. Friends, people that he had, hung out with, he had just had dinner with, screwed him over for money. The glory of Judas. He knew. He knew who did what. He knew. He did it anyway. What would you have done? I'm not saying if you were Christ. I mean, if you want to put it that way, okay, fine. But would you have gone through such horrific experiences for the greater good? Would you have the courage to do that? I don't think that he was a martyr. I mean, some people do, some people don't, whatever. I don't see it that way. I do think he was a magnificent scholar. In the Jewish faith, he is seen as a rabbi, as a teacher, which he was, absolutely. One of a kind. Now, whether you believe that he is the Son of Christ or you don't, honey, that's up to you. That's totally your call, your decision. That's not the topic. The topic is, would you have had the courage to do something similar for the greater good, knowing that, okay, per Christian faith, he died for everyone's sins. He took everyone's sins upon himself, and he died for their sins. If they believed him, if they followed his path, good souls doing good things. Okay. How many people are those good souls? How many people manipulate his teachings, manipulate the Bible out of greed, out of fame, recognition, because they're just sick, twisted people? Yeah, he knew all of this was going to happen. He knew. He knew some people would follow the path, some wouldn't. Some would use his name in vain, some wouldn't. Some would mock him. Some would try to destroy and ruin his reputation. Well, that hasn't happened yet. They tried. I don't think it'll ever happen. But he did it for the greater good. Could you do that? Could you sacrifice yourself and be sold out by a friend, arrested, tortured, beaten, literally crucified for the greater good of all? Or would you just say, yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to pull a pass on this one. Sorry, not going to happen. Not me, not on my watch. What would you have done? It's just a philosophical question. I think it's a good question. And I'm not saying, you should or should not believe, honey, that's on you. I don't judge anybody for any reason. It's a philosophical question. What would you have done? Would you have been able to do something like this for the greater good? If your parent had told you You need to do this for the greater good. Would you be able to do that? Hell, you can't even get kids today to clean their room, let alone sacrifice themselves for the greater good of all. I just think it's a cool topic. So let me know your thoughts. I think it's fascinating. There's no right or wrong answer. If you do comment, keep it kind, keep it nice. We don't want hate. No. Nope. No. We don't do that. No judgment, no hate. Just comment. Respect everybody's comments. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree. Everybody has a right to be wrong. I just want to know what you think.